Now on CoastTV News.
Snow is on its way to Sussex County. What people are doing to prepare for some potential cabin fever. Spreading the salt, how DelDOT is preparing for the incoming winter weather. And as the storm rolls in, snow-covered dunes, they may look fun, but playing on them, it could cost more than just a fine.
Well, after this first wave of snow has hit, a bitter cold situation will be on the beaches as the wind chill drops to the low teens for Saturday and Sunday morning before the next real round of snow shows up.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Grocery runs and errands all getting done before the expected snowfall. Good evening, I'm Christina DeRobertis. Welcome to Coast TV News at 11. We begin tonight on the chilly streets of downtown Lewis. Now, most people on the coast, they know the coast for its warmth, its nice beaches, pretty skies, and more. But one thing that it's not known for is that fluffy, cold snow, and it looks like it might be coming here this weekend. Coast TV News reporter Brendan Conroy shows us this big snowfall has been getting some very mixed reactions from people who live here.
Snow, snow, and even more snow.
Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Those cold, fluffy flakes, and lots of them are expected on the coast this weekend. But not everyone is looking forward to it.
You know, I'm not a winter guy. You know, I'm not a cold guy.
People are preparing for an expected 4 to 8 inches of snow on our Delmarva beaches. One family says they aren't afraid of a little or a lot of snow coming this way.
It's part of life. It makes life interesting. Who wants to live in a desert where it's 110 every day?
R.F. Fualdi lives in Lewis and says he definitely isn't used to white winters.
I like it kind of like, sort of like Arizona winters, you know, kind of dry, but then yet, you know, you get that snow time to time and stuff like that.
The majority of people I got the chance to speak with all said a similar thing. They're not sure if it's going to snow, but if it does, they want to be as prepared as possible. Like Melissa Worthy, who does all her grocery shopping and stocks up before the snow arrives.
Yes, I'm making sure that I stack up and get my water and make sure that I have plenty of water and that I am getting the snow shovel, and I'm also buying some snow melt today. So I'll be well prepared for the snow when it comes.
Coastal communities gearing up for the first snow of the season. In Lewis, Brendan Conroy, Coast TV News.
And people on the midshore are also preparing for the snowstorm. Caroline County crews are on standby. The Public Works crew said they were double checking their snow plows today, and the County Emergency Services Department says it will have all hands on deck. People on the midshore were seen prepping wood for their fireplaces. The Greensboro Public Works supervisor says they don't know what to expect with the snow, so they're keeping their equipment in check.
I always say prepare for the worst, and what we get out of it. If we don't get nothing but flurries, well, at least we were prepared. It's better being prepared than unprepared. So.
Greensboro Public Works says if the snow reaches about 3 inches, that's when plows will venture out on the streets and sidewalks there in Caroline County. And DelDOT crews, they've been hard at work today trying to make the roads safe ahead of the expected snowstorm. Officials say the department has been making sure all of their equipment is working properly, and they've been salting the roads today. They say they have 18 tons of salt brine to lay down. In Sussex County, DelDOT is responsible for salting and plowing about 3,000 miles of road, and the department says it has about 80 plow trucks for Sussex County. They expect to use every single one of them. And if you do hit the road, you should be careful.
So normally what we see in Delaware, at least in Sussex County, is that first event is normally the one where motorists are the least familiar with the roadway conditions. So we want people to be extra cautious during these first events during the winter time. And we always ask them to be very wary when they're around our plows because our plows have a hard time seeing them.
And Probert says DelDOT can usually salt those 3,000 miles of roads in about 1 day, but it could take 3 or 4 days to get all of the Sussex County roads completely plowed. That's depending on the weather. And speaking of the weather, we're going to take a live look outside into Ocean City and turn it to our First Alert Chief Meteorologist, Paul Williams. Paul, what do we need to know ahead of this weekend?
That the snow we received today was just an hors d'oeuvre compared to the main feast of snow we anticipate for Monday throughout the entire day. But let's go ahead and kind of catch up on what happened for today. Our Cambridge camera was one of the first to catch the initial snow beginning to move into our immediate area. Right now, holding at about 30 degrees, and the winds are at about 12 miles per hour. Now, we're going to stay below freezing for the rest of the night and clear out a bit for us by 3 o'clock. Just so you'll know, we started calculating some of the snow. Now, Bridgeville received the most snow, over 1.5 inches there. We had just shy of 1 inch for us in Cambridge, just about 1/3 of an inch of rain for us in Linkwood, but then East Market had about 1/10 of an inch of snow, and we had traces that were recorded just throughout a good portion of our area. So we didn't expect a tremendous amount of snow for this first wave, but this was the wave that will introduce us to the beginning of the snow season, and then big-time Arctic air kicks in for tomorrow. And then you add to that a concern with very gusty winds. Well, we're looking at a gale wind warning. That's about 40-mile-per-hour winds that's going to stay rampant along the entire coast. Now, you combine that with temperatures falling to 10 to 20 degrees below the norm for this time of the year. Now that the cold front's pushing through, that makes for a chillingly uncomfortable situation for us for Saturday and Sunday before the snow arrives. And when it hits, here we go. 3 to 6 for most of the county. 6 or more, let's say Seaford and north up towards Farmington, and we may get about 1 to 3 from Snow Hill over towards Ocean Pines. That's what we're expecting as far as Monday's snow is concerned. Now, there's a bit of timing that comes with this, and we're going to go over that in detail coming up in a moment. Until then, Christina, back to you.
All right, thank you for that update, Paul, and we'll check back in. The city of Milford is reminding people who live there reminding them what to do when it snows. For one, if there's more than 3 inches of snow, Milford asks people to move their cars off the streets so that the plows can get through. Additionally, everyone must clear their sidewalks within 24 hours of the snowfall stopping. And if there's over 1 inch, Milford says some state roads have no parking after that accumulation. And all this talk about the snow brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, how do you feel about the snow? And let's take a look at the results. It looks like 44% say love it, 8% it's okay, 33% could do without, 15% they hate it. And that's okay if you hate it, but we want to know what you think. So head over to coasttv.com or use our mobile app and you can vote. By the way, Coast TV News will be your source for all winter storm coverage. During the storm, we will have coverage on TV, on coasttv.com, and on our mobile apps and our radio station, so please be sure to tune in. Moving on now, Delaware Lieutenant Governor Bethany Hall-Long will briefly be governor. Hall-Long lost a bitter primary to now Governor-elect Matt Meyer. But as Governor John Carney prepares to become mayor of Wilmington, he will resign and Hall-Long will be sworn in. That's happening January 7th. And she'll stay governor until January 21st when Meyer is inaugurated. Also making history, Lisa Blunt Rochester. She was also sworn in today as Delaware's first female senator and senator of color. Blunt Rochester was previously Delaware's lone representative in Congress. Plus, Democrat Sarah McBride also sworn in as Delaware's next member of the House of Representatives. She's taking Blunt Rochester's seat. McBride making history as the first openly transgender person in U.S. Congress. Happening soon, Delaware's Environmental Appeals Board will take a closer look at a decision tied to a major offshore wind project. The board meets on January 28th to decide if U.S. Wind's federal certifications follow Delaware's coastal management rules. A Bethany Beach resident, Edward Bintz, he filed the appeal saying there were some problems with how the public was notified and how records were shared. U.S. Wind's project has support from federal and state agencies, but it has faced a lot of pushback locally. That meeting is set for 9 a.m., again on January 28th at the Denrec Auditorium in Dover. A New York judge says he will sentence President-elect Trump in his hush money case next Friday, less than 2 weeks before Trump is set to be sworn in as president. The judge says Trump has the option of appearing in person or virtually for the sentencing next Friday. Trump has denied all wrongdoing. President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden are expected to visit New Orleans on Monday in the wake of the deadly New Year's terror attack. As Lee Waldman reports, tonight, as authorities continue to investigate what led to the tragedy, we are learning more about one of the victims.
Everybody loved her. She was just so bubbly, so eccentric, just a light to be around. If you were sad, she would cheer you up.
Those words used to describe Nakira Cheyenne Doe. She was one of 14 people killed in the New Orleans terror attack early on New Year's Day. We spoke to a friend who was with her that night but was not hit when the driver, Shamsuddin Jabbar, plowed through a crowd on Bourbon Street.
I barely slept. It's hard to eat. Being here is actually quite unsettling. But I know I got to get her story out, man. People have to know what type of person she was.
President Joe Biden said he spoke to the victims' families. He's set to visit the city with the First Lady, Jill Biden, on Monday as tributes to the victims pour in.
He's offering the full support of our federal government to push back against terrorism, to ensure the people of New Orleans, as well as those that visit, that we're safe.
In addition to the 14 victims, dozens more were hurt in the attack, including 2 police officers hospitalized after a shootout with the attacker.
Our hearts and prayers go out to the victims who lost their lives and their families, to the remaining citizens who are in the hospital still recovering. Our prayers and thoughts are with them. And a huge thank you to the 2 brave police officers who put their lives on the line in the line of duty.
In New Orleans, I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
And we're learning more tonight about the man authorities say drove a Tesla truck that exploded outside the Trump Hotel. Authorities say Matthew Livelsberger was an active-duty U.S. Army Green Beret, and new tonight, police say he wrote a bunch of grievances in his cell phone shortly before the attack. They included political, domestic, and societal issues.
We are intending to release those initial letters so people can understand the best they can what the person's thought process was at one point in time. However, please understand there is still a lot more content to go through.
Las Vegas authorities say Livelsberger took his own life prior to the blast, and the FBI says they believe the heavily decorated combat veteran was struggling with PTSD and other issues, and they say this was not connected to the terror attack in New Orleans. And we still have more news to get into this evening. Still ahead, a Siri settlement. Apple agrees to pay millions over a privacy lawsuit. But first, it's about to be the very first weekend of 2025. What you can do before the snow comes in. That's up next.
But I'll tell you what will come in. Bitterly cold situations. We have bitter cold air for us in Cambridge and Crisfield for Saturday. We'll drop into the 20s, but feel like the teens. I'll have your full forecast on that impending snowstorm still targeting us for Monday in 60 seconds.
When style marries experience, great things happen. At that cabinet store, we work with you to design kitchens and bathrooms that look stunning and work seamlessly in your everyday life. DIY enthusiasts, contractors, or homeowners, we work with everyone in the same way, paying attention to your needs and every detail. Because your experience should be professional and personal.
That cabinet store, under one roof, with Matt the Carpet Guy and Imperial Granite at the Salisbury Design Center, the perfect team for your design dreams, South Salisbury Boulevard.
With the potential of closure due to the upcoming snow forecast, Furnitureland and Ashley are giving you their very best offer to make up for lost business. For the next 72 hours only, take 24% off store-wide. Plus, get 24 months interest-free financing, $24 next-day delivery, plus a free snow shovel. Hurry in, as the snow falls, so do our prices. Only at Furnitureland and Ashley, located in tax-free Delmar and Millsboro, Delaware.
Now that we've had our introduction to the snow done with for today, now it comes the Arctic air for Saturday and Sunday before the storm that we're really concerned with hits us on Monday. Our Tidal Health camera, Salisbury, we're at 30 degrees right now. We have the Arctic air already filtering its way into our neck of the woods. We'll drop down to 29 with mostly clear skies for tonight in Salisbury. We're going to drop into the 20s in a whole lot of areas. Winter weather advisory that was issued for us earlier this evening now has been allowed to expire. We see the snow shower activity and the last remnants of it falling its way towards the southeast and out of the way. We are clearing out right now as far as the precipitation is concerned and as far as any kind of activity with precipitation in the form of rain, sleet, or snow, but more is on the way. Gale wind warning is still active for us until Saturday at the very least, because we're watching out for 40 to 45 mile per hour winds along the coast for pretty much everywhere along the Delmarva Peninsula. Now, I need you to think about something. Temperatures are going to drop into the lower 20s. The wind chill factor will be in the low teens, and the winds will be blustery at 40 miles per hour along the coast. It is extremely uncomfortable for Saturday morning and particularly Sunday morning. Sunday morning is going to be worse, by the way, in case you were wondering. The cold front's already pushed through. That's helped to introduce us to the much colder air. But this pocket of cold air is going to have a lasting effect for not just us, but for a whole lot of people. Temperatures dropping into the 20s for the overnight low. This cold air kicks in. We're looking for highs between 10 to 20 degrees below the norm for this time of the year. As this low pressure system begins to gain some strength and cranks up and drops about 1.5 feet or more snow in the central part of the country before it knife or spearheads its way towards us. So let's talk about how cold it's going to be. How about 16 to 19 degrees by Saturday noon? 13 degrees by Sunday morning. That's the kind of cold that we're talking about. That's why I'm trying to make a big brouhaha about it. Now let's talk about the winter storm and the timeline. Sunday night going into Monday is when we're expecting to hit. This is what I call the first plowable snow. In other words, over 3 inches. So really I'm looking for about 6 in a lot of areas. We'll have periods of heavy snow and some mixing with sleet and freezing rain. So where we don't get more snow, not necessarily a good thing, because the freezing rain and sleet will be very cumbersome and a problem as well. At 4 o'clock in the morning, the snow begins right here over us for Monday morning. It continues for Monday mid-morning going to the afternoon, and then we'll have the backside of the system that'll dump an additional plume of snow our way. But as I break it down a little bit closer, you see this blue line? This is our zero line, all right? That's what we have in the upper atmosphere, the zero line, where we say it definitely crosses over to stay in the form of snow. Well, see, all this purple to the north and to the south, especially with the winds coming out of the north, indicates that even with the zero line here, doesn't really matter. All this is going to be snow. For Monday afternoon, by 4 o'clock, still snow. We'll see sleet developing off of the water here, right near Ocean View and Ocean Pines at 4 o'clock. But the majority of us in the inland areas, it stays snow. Then there's that backside of snow that kicks back in later on. Then by Tuesday, it'll clear out for us. We're expecting for mainly snow and some snow and mixing, depending on exactly where you are, north or south of Highway 13 and 9. But we're looking at 3 to 6 in Seaford, Salisbury, Millsboro, 1 to 3 inches of snow, Ocean Pines, Snow Hill, and up towards Farmington, 6 inches of snow or more. Here's a look at your Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling Extended Forecast. We are calling for a first alert day on Monday. Don't be surprised if we have winter storm warnings and all that goes with it, because it's going to be a real difficult first day back to work for everybody.
Happy New Year, everyone. As we step into 2025, maybe it's time to focus a little bit more on you. And this weekend, you can make that happen. You can head to the Milton Public Library for a special event all about putting your mental health first. Get tips on self-care, stress management, and when you should reach out for help. And here's something that's good for the mind and your furry friend, too. On Sunday, bring your pup to Brecknock County Park in Camden. There's going to be a pack walk. Enjoy a peaceful stroll through the park with your dog by your side. Or if you're looking for some live music, head to Dover on Saturday for the Central Delaware Blues Society's biggest event of the year. From noon to 5, enjoy performances by 6 bands, plus food and drinks. And if you're in Dover this weekend, don't miss free admission to the Biggs Museum of Art. Explore amazing American art with a special focus on pieces from the Mid-Atlantic region. For all the details, just head to CoastTV.com and click on Cool Things to Do.
Here at North Bay Marina, we know that boaters have the most fun.
Welcome to Toyotathon. We're taking your friends to the snow in a Highlander. Oh, you meant human friends.
Right now, lease a capable and affordable Corolla Cross for just $239 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome to Farmhouse Pet Lodge, your pet's home away from home. Our state-of-the-art secure lodge offers exceptional care for dogs, cats, and other pets. For daycare or boarding with private suites, custom food prep, UV air filtration, centralized disinfection, and 24/7 care. Your pet will be safe, healthy, and happy. Book now and get 10% off your first stay. Ask about our grooming services and tailored training programs. Give your furry friends an amenity-filled vacation at our family-owned, conveniently located Farmhouse Pet Lodge.
Basketball is back, and it's nothing but net on the Delmarva Sports Network. From tip-offs to buzzer-beating plays, don't miss a moment of the action. High school hoops all season long on DSN and DSN+.
This is a community where my zaniness fits in just fine. Because I go to Rehoboth Beach, they love me because I'm zany. I go to Lewis, they love me because I'm zany, I guess. Or they tolerate me, you know. I go to Milton, I go to Salisbury, and just people are more accepting than you would typically give them credit for. That's an overall wonderful, even playing field, is connecting with people regardless of the background or the culture. It is really surprising how diverse this particular area along the coast is specifically.
Recharge from the holidays with a new Toyota at Toyotathon.
I have got a truckload of new Toyotas out front.
Check them out.
Something I said?
Yes.
Right now, buy an adventure-ready RAV4 with low 3.99 APR financing. Toyota, let's go places.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
New tonight, Delaware has announced the first presumptive positive bird flu case this year. The Department of Agriculture announced today that the test was from a commercial broiler in Kent County. State officials have quarantined the premises, and birds from the affected flock will not enter the food system. This comes after 850 wild birds were reported dead after the bird flu was first detected in prime hook snow geese. And the Department of Health and Human Services announced it will invest more than $300 million to help monitor bird flu and prepare for potential scenarios. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention still considers the risk to the general public to be low. Apple has agreed to pay $95 million to affected customers to settle a privacy class action lawsuit over its virtual assistant Siri. The preliminary settlement would end a 5-year legal battle over the issue. The suit claims Siri can be accidentally activated and then record parts of people's conversations without their consent. Plaintiffs also claim Apple violated users' privacy by forwarding those recordings to third parties. In the settlement, Apple said it, quote, continues to deny any and all alleged wrongdoing. Coming up this weekend on Sunday Night Football, right here on Coast TV, the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Detroit Lions. And coverage starts at 7 p.m. and stay tuned on Coast TV for your hyper-local news after the big game. Coming up in sports tonight, the War on the Shore Wrestling Tournament returned to Ocean City, and there were plenty of local standouts on display. And next, keep the sleds off the sand. A reminder from DenRec ahead of the expected snowstorm.
Here's a look at the snow totals we had for today. Bridgeville, over 1.5 inches. Cambridge, just shy of a full inch. 1/3 of an inch in Linkwood, 1/10 of an inch in East Market, and a trace in various other areas.
Track the storm with Coast TV First Alert Weather.
Time to see Matt the Carpet Guy. Wait, what happened to the store? The people of Delmarva have been tricked into thinking they can't buy the flooring they want. At Matt the Carpet Guy, we bring style back to your home with a wide selection of LVP starting at $1.99 and tons of carpet options. We have the color and the style at the right price. Wow, there really is no place like Matt the Carpet Guy.
Matt the Carpet Guy, magically affordable.
DSN Plus is more energy, extra live games and on-demand replays anytime, anywhere. DSN Plus is more hype. From playoff matchups and unified football to marching band showcases, we highlight what makes Delmarva unique. DSN Plus is more hometown pride. We go wherever our teams go with up to 5 live games every weeknight. DSN is still free on air and cable, but get even more with DSN Plus, just $6.99 a month. Download the Delmarva Sports Network app from your app store today.
Ring in 2025 with a new roof from Spicer Brothers. Right now, get 20% off materials, plus save 25% on your entire roofing project. Our expert team is dedicated to providing unmatched customer service and quality craftsmanship. It's the perfect time to upgrade your home and start the year strong. So don't miss out on the 2025 savings with 20% off materials and 25% off your entire roofing project. Visit SpicerBros.com or call now to schedule your free consultation. Make Spicer Brothers your New Year's resolution because you deserve the best.
You rip and tear your old statements and bills, but thieves use this information to steal your identity. Don't be a victim. Get the ID Police, the new ink roller that encrypts all your old documents. So before you throw it out, just roll it on, and your information is gone, both on the front and through the back. Even if the paper is held up to the light, even your medical information is safe with the ID Police. So block it out before you throw it out. Order now and get your ID Police for as low as $9.99 and get free shipping too. This offer is not available on Amazon, so call or click now to get your ID Police for as low as $9.99 with free shipping. Order now.
Call 1-800-803-0512. That's 1-800-803-0512. Or visit getidpolice.com. So call 1-800-803-0512 now.
Well, if big storms are good for anything, it's the winter wonderland of sledding, snowboarding. But Denrec wants everyone to know you can't sled on the sand dunes, even if they look like great, perfect little hills covered in snow. Denrec says that winter gear is harmful to the beach grasses on the dunes, which anchor the sand in place and keep the dunes resilient. Health of the dunes is important because they're the first line of defense when there's storms and coastal flooding.
With climate change, we have to do everything we can to protect what we have here on the coast. You know, we're going to be losing all kinds of animals, then especially any turtles that are going to come here, and some of our little birds. So yeah, the environmental protection of the dunes is super, super important.
Denrec says if you're caught on the dunes other than in the designated crossing paths, you could be fined. A new advisory issued today by the U.S. Surgeon General is calling for updated health warning labels on alcoholic beverages, citing the increased cancer risk. In tonight's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither takes a look at what's behind this push and has reaction from health experts.
It's a new call to warn Americans about the effects of alcohol. U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy issued this advisory Friday, seeking labels on alcoholic beverages, warning of cancer risks.
The reality is that more people die every year of preventable alcohol-related cancers than drunken driving. And I think most people probably don't realize that.
Medical oncologist Dr. Dale Shepard with Cleveland Clinic says he hopes this advisory brings awareness. The Surgeon General's office says less than half of Americans are aware of increased cancer risk from alcohol, and that it's the third leading preventable cause of cancer in the U.S. That risk rises with the amount of alcohol consumed.
I think in general, moderation is key.
The advisory says every year in the U.S., alcohol is responsible for about 100,000 cancer cases and 20,000 cancer deaths. It's linked to at least 7 types of cancer, including breast, colorectal, esophagus, liver, mouth, throat, and voice box.
Lifestyle changes can have a positive impact on cancer risk, risk for heart disease, risk for diabetes. We can't underestimate the ability that we have to change our lifestyle and make ourselves healthier.
An updated warning label on alcoholic beverages to reflect cancer risk would require approval from Congress. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Wrestling took center stage tonight in Ocean City, Maryland at the Convention Center in the 23rd annual War on the Shore. Some of the top teams from Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, and Virginia poured in to compete. Sussex Central's Seth Milligan getting funky with this gorgeous cradle and the awkward positioning, eventually getting the fall just 1 minute into the match. Beautifully done that time by Milligan. Now some love for the host. Decatur's own Juan Hinojosa has something to prove as he gets the quick pin just 109 into his match, finishing with the double overs. Moving to 138, Woodbridge Senior Steven Stotler finishes the head inside single leg by cutting off to a double to score the first points of the match. Then Peyton Conaway from Sussex Central gets this takedown, scoring the match's first points, helping lead him to a 9-2 victory. Day 2 will start at 10 a.m. tomorrow at the Rowan E. Powell Center. And in girls hoops, it was a cross-conference battle between Stephen Decatur and Salisbury Christian girls basketball. The Seahawks got great games from Alea Blake and Allison Swift, who made plays like this all night long to help lead the team to a dominant 59-16 win. The Seahawks improved to 8-0 on the season with the victory. That'll do it for sports. Have a great night, everyone.
NBC News Daily, weekdays at 1 on CoastTV.
Buying a home today is not child's play. Now more than ever, you need a Leanne Wilkinson Group buyer's agent working for you. Just listen to some of our satisfied clients.
Leanne has unparalleled insight into everything Lewis, which gave us, as buyers, an advantage.
Leanne brings a level of strategy that ensures you will get what you want from your transaction.
Leanne's team is remarkable. They work tirelessly for their clients.
The Leanne Wilkinson Group in Lewis, Delaware is a proud affiliate of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services PenFed Realty.
Over 50 years ago, JD Asphalt was built on strong family values and a commitment to quality. For 3 generations, we've stayed true to those principles, delivering friendly service and fast premium results that's built to last. Growing up, my dad showed me what it takes to be the best. And now I'm passing the same knowledge on to my kids, ensuring our commitment to quality lives on. JD Asphalt, quality paving, family owned and trusted for over 50 years.
Who wants to drag out a bulky vacuum? Introducing Horsepower Duck, a super compact vac with ultra-powerful suction. Clean up that mess in the kitchen, the spill on the sofa, even sawdust in the workshop. Just duck it up. The compact design can reach the tightest places, so store it in any drawer where it's always at your fingertips. You can even store it in your glove box for the ultimate car vac. The HEPA filter helps remove dust and allergens. Plus, it dumps out with ease, so it's ready to clean again. Get the Horsepower Duck hand vac for just $39.99. Order right now and we'll upgrade you to the Duck Pro package, a $30 value, yours free. You get the bendable tube, the crevice nozzle, and the soft brush nozzle, but supplies are limited, so there's a strict limit of 3 ducks per order. This may be your last chance to get yours at this low price, so don't delay. Duck it up today.
Call 1-800-581-3085 or visit duckback.com. So call 1-800-581-3085 or visit duckback.com now.
Ride the wave of Delmarva's vibrant coastal vibes with Coast Life. From hidden gems to sun-kissed trends and captivating local tales. Dive deep and immerse yourself in our coastal rhythm. Catch Coast Life weekdays at 4 on CoastTV.
Capture your favorite moments at the CoastTV photo booth. Strike a pose and snap a pic, all for free. View previous pictures and see the next event at coasttv.com under the Features tab. The CoastTV photo booth, sponsored by Baths by Spicer Brothers.
Well, we can take a look at what's happening with our current conditions in tidal health. We're at Salisbury at 30 degrees, and we'll drop back to 29 with mostly clear skies. Umbrella giveaway winner, actually, Lynn Hennessy, interesting last name, from Lewis, Delaware. Congratulations, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling. Keep up with your forecast, and we're also updating you on what's happening with the snowstorm on our weather line, sponsored by the law offices of Brockstedt, Mendalis, and Federico. We do have the last remnants of the snow that's clearing out of the way. Most locations got about a trace. We had a little bit more as you go more to the north, but we're watching out for the real snow to hit on Monday. That's the day we're really watching out for, and that's also when we have our first alert day that will stay active in our region.
Okay, thank you for that, Paul, and thanks for joining us for Coast TV News at 11. For more news and local weather, you can download our Coast TV News app. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, that's up next. And be sure to stay with us on the air and on social media tomorrow as we track the snow. Have a great night.